Alright, welcome back. Now, today I have something a little bit different for you. I will go back to my old cruisers and it will be time to blow the dust off of these ships. Now, I consider myself to be primarily a cruiser pilot. I started PvP on cruisers and I kinda miss flying them. Now, I will return to one of my older ships. Basically, I used to fly the Cynabal a lot and, well, there's the ship. I did make a 1 year long break from flying the Cynabal, and now it will be time to actually jump back inside of this little ship. And I will have to change the build on the Cynabal. Back in the day I used to fly this ship the same way as I fly the Macarial nowadays, but that build didn't end up working really well right before I stopped flying this ship. So currently this Cynabal has the exact same build as the Macarial, and it has very high DPS because of the barrage implant. Now let me quickly replace some of the Scramblers with the classic webs, and this is how I mostly use the Cynabal. Overall very solid DPS, but no tank, and this ship is very fast. Now I have some very weird modules installed, that's true, so I will have to change a lot of things on this Cynabal. I'm thinking to use this ship the same way as I use the Stabber 2. Basically, I want to make this ship a tank, perhaps a armor tank instead of a shield tank. As for the rigs, I have triple burst aerator rigs, and in the engineering rigs I have warp core stabs or auxiliary thrusters. Both work really well. Now, as I did say, this Cynabal has basically no tank, and I will change that in the future. Now let's take a look at the maximum possible DPS output of this Cynabal. Now back in the day this ship actually had around 1000 DPS, but now with the implants and with me actually using better skills, the DPS should be a lot higher. Back in the day, having 1000 DPS on a cruiser was considered a lot. Now I have 1.2 thousand. With the barrage enabled, the DPS is 1756.17. That's actually pretty good. Okay, 2.4 thousand meters per second is with the micro updrive. And with the triple gyro stabilizers, the DPS is 2.5 thousand. Now if I were to use all three C-types, that DPS would definitely be around 2.8 thousand, but for some reason I don't have all of the C-types equipped, and that's okay. Still has really good DPS even for a cheap build. Now I think I will keep this Cynabal pretty cheap because I don't expect this ship to live that long. After all, I will have to go and develop a new tank build, basically very similar to the Stabber 2. And of course, I don't have a nanocore on this ship at the moment, so yeah, there is a lot of things to work on this ship. And I think I will use the Cynabal with the afterburner. I actually started to prefer afterburners over micro updrives on my cruisers, on some of them, not on all of them. Some work better with the afterburner, but some work better with the micro updrive. I actually used to have a dual propulsion build on the Cynabal. Oh, those were some very fun days back a year ago, 2 years ago. The Cynabal is my second faction cruiser that I started flying, and I still really like this ship. It's an amazing cruiser, and it is definitely really good. Now the second cruiser that I will fly today is the Stabber 2. Now, last time I did mention that I will go and use the tracking computer on this ship, and so far I can tell you the results with the tracking computer were really good. So this is the build that I think I might end up keeping on the Stabber 2. Autocans, 21.44 km accuracy fall-off, 1 long-range disruptor, web, large neutralizer, one medium drone, afterburner, track computer, large booster, damage control, and a adaptive shield hardener. Overall, I really like the way how this ship runs with this current build. It does feel like the Vagabond, and I think that my goal to make the Vagabond in Evacos was successful. I'm really, really impressed by the performance of the Starboard II and still have the Sleeper Core. The Sleeper Core is really good and overall not really pay to win as a lot of players say, but it's really good and in some cases actually going to help out a lot. Now let's take a look at the third ship that I will fly today, the Stratus. Now I haven't really changed the Stratus a lot. The Stratus remains one of my best tackle ships that I still have, and this is the build. I haven't changed anything, basically the same tank, same resistances, same velocity, same DPS, same modules, and I think even the rigs are still the same. Overall, I really like to fly this ship to tackle stuff. Nothing can escape a Stratos tackle. And here are the rigs, 3P combat integration modules focused on resistance and armor repair. The nanocore is the Trailblazer core, extra armor 22.50%, which is, you know, really solid for this ship and for the things that I actually use this ship for. Alright, well, I think it'll be time to go out and have some fun with the cruisers. I actually plan to fly a lot more cruisers. I really miss flying these things. I started PvP in this game on cruisers, so let's continue where we left off. Now, the first target that we have today is a, well, believe it or not, we have one Orthrus running a mission. The Orthrus is orbiting around the beacon of the mission, so we have to wait for the best warp-in. If we warp too late, the ship can easily warp out, because the Orthrus is known to be very, very fast. And after all, it's a cruiser, and cruisers are by default a lot harder to catch than other slower ships. Now the Orthrus is moving at, let me see, 3.2 kilometers per second. Okay, that's what I see from the scouts. 3.2 kilometers per second. Okay, should be very easy to catch. We have a Vigilant, and I have triple Scrammers to ensure that the Orthrus will not run away. The optimal warp-in would be 30 kilometers, and looks like it will be time to go. Alright, let's blow up that Orthrus.
Warp drive active.
Haven't blown up an Orthrus in a very long time. I like the ship. It's one of the best cruisers that you can use for low sec. Okay, the Orthrus is 35 kilometers away from me. Now I messed up. I accidentally turned on barrage before the time, so I'm not going to be doing much damage on the start. The Orthrus has been webbed. Okay, let me scramble the Orthrus so that I turn off the mic warp drive, and they have been webbed, scrambled. The Orthrus is shooting at me, surprisingly, orbiting at 12 kilometers. The barrage did its job. The Orthrus is now into hole, and the Orthrus has been destroyed. Nice. That was solid teamwork. Vigilant webbed and pointed, and I applied my scrammers to turn off the mic warp drive on the Orthrus. That was very nice teamwork. Okay, let me warp away and... Okay, this might be a very nice kill. This might be a very nice kill. That's what I've read on Discord, and... Woo! Alrighty then. Nice, 9.5 billion Orthrus. This might be the most expensive Orthrus that I've ever seen in this game. I'm speechless. Why? Just why? I know I built one of my Orthrus to be super expensive, but this is... At least use C-type missile launchers. At least use C-type missile launchers on your 9.5 billion Orthrus. That build was a little bit weird. Not cursed, not cursed, but not the best build that I've seen. So it will be probably featured on the next cursed and bad build video for the next week, I believe. Depends when I decide to actually make it. Oh man, that was a very nice, that was a really good first kill for today. 9.5 billion. It's been a while since I've seen such a expensive cruiser. I know I build and sometimes lose expensive ships, but 9.5 billion Orthrus, impressive. Phones were broken. Phones were broken. Okay, let's get serious for a moment. We have an Ashimu. Now, you can defeat an Ashimu with the Cynabal very easily now. Basically, if you go full DPS, you can break the tank on the Ashimu before the Ashimu breaks your capacitor. And this Ashimu did not last that long, was actually destroyed really quickly. Let's warp out and let's wait out the criminal timer. Okay, warping out. Let's take a look at the Ashimu kill. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's cursed. Why is that Ashimu cursed? An armor repairer and a adaptive shield hardener. Okay. That's the second ship for the cursed video that I will do in a couple of days. Oh man, we have some very interesting builds over here today. Now we're waiting for the next target to be in optimal range. We have dual Cynabal action here. Dual Cynabal is basically like having multiple Macarials, very fun. The Cynabal is extremely fun if you have a bunch of them. Why is that Ashimu so cursed? Oh my god. You know, I've seen so many cursed ships. I've seen so many cursed and forsaken builds. And why? Just... See? I have no words. I have no comments on that. I have no comments on that. Sometimes... You know, it used to be... Okay, I think it's time to go. Active. Yeah, it's time to warp. Okay. Fleet warp. Let's see what our next target is. Okay, we have a battlecruiser. Excellent warping. Excellent warping because we're already within optimal range. Orbiting. Okay. Turn off the microwave to improve tracking. That battlecruiser is taking some heavy damage from our Cynabal ships. And the battlecruiser has been eliminated. That was nice. Now I just noticed that I have 45 barrage ammunition for the Cynabal. That's because I have 5 turrets instead of 8 turrets. If you have more turrets, you will have more ammo. Not really sure how it works on a capital ship. Haven't really tested that out yet. Okay, let's look at the kill. Oh, I did not get the kill, my apologies. Wrong click. 470 million, not bad, pretty good value. And finally a good build. I was looking for this. Oh, and they had the sleeper nanocore. Okay, that's impressive. Well, sleeper nanocore did not help that battlecruiser to survive. You know, the sleeper core is really good, but it's not, you know, as a one-click button to win a battle. There is a lot of more things that decide the outcome of a fight. The sleeper nanocore is just an nanocore. Okay, let me go and find who's going to be the optimal warping. We got scanned. Okay, that's interesting. Waiting for warping. Let's warp at 0.
Warp drive active.
Now, I think this would be a good example to show you why I like to have a lot of scramblers, or why I like to have a lot of points, or a specific tackle ship. If you have one scrambler or 1 point, it's not going to be enough to hold a vast majority of ships, and I think this Cynabal is going to be one such ship that's going to be very difficult to hold. Okay, they have been scrambled and webbed, and unfortunately, well, one scrambler wasn't enough to hold this Cynabal, and they have warped out. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we have dedicated tackle ships. The dedicated tackle ship will hold the target while you are built to go with full-on DPS or webs, depends on what you need to have. Okay,
Warp drive active.
now let's jump in the good old Stratus. I use this ship as a tackle ship primarily, and not many ships escaped the Stratus. Usually the ships that escape are cruisers, small ships that are very hard to tackle. Big ships are 99.99% guaranteed tackle if you use the Stratus. Now we have a Phantasm, and this Phantasm is moving. They are at 30 kilometers, so I will go and intercept. They're actually at 0 from the mission, but I landed a little bit far so that I have room to go and adjust myself to the position of the ship in order to ensure that I successfully tackle the target. 22 kilometers. I think they're actually manually orbiting, not really sure. Or perhaps not, because they're slowly gliding towards my ship. I will tackle in a moment. Waiting for 13 kilometers. Okay, let's tackle. Should be within range. Phantasm is tackled. Okay. Orbiting at 0, they have been webbed. The web is very useful against a Phantasm because they're fast. They're the fastest cruisers with afterburners. They have a bonus on afterburners. So in order to slow them down and to prevent them from running away, you have to have a web, or 2 webs in some cases. Now this Phantasm doesn't seem to be that tanky. They are going down rather quickly. Usually these things are really tanky. However, this time the Phantasm is going down fairly fast. Well, they are now into armor.
We're under attack.
Now into hull. And the Phantasm has been destroyed. Okay, nice. I have a bad feeling about this. An armor repair in a car hold. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign. Oh man. Oh no. I think it's cursed.
Warp drive active.
I think that Phantasm is cursed. We're about to find out. Oh no, it's cursed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. A cursed Phantasm. Oh boy. I'm not going to be alive at the end of this video for sure. That's a fact. Yeah, and my corp mates also laugh because they know that they know my reactions to curse builds. And they know my reactions to curse builds. And yeah, I actually laugh at my own reactions sometimes. Now we have a not Phantasm, we have an Ashimo that's locked out in space, and I have scanned them. I love when I scan a ship that logs out in space. A very easy target. There's the Ashimo. Usually I would not warp at 0 to an Ashmu with the Stratus because the Ashmu is known to be very scary. But this Ashmu is logged out and should be a very interesting target, to say the least. Orbiting at 0, this Ashmu is probably a armor tank. Yeah, it's an armor tank, okay. Armor tank because they're taking less damage on armor than on shield, but I could be wrong, who knows. Okay, let's see. Now the Ashmu is into hole. You know, I just have a bad thing that this Ashmu might be cursed, although we don't see a lot of cursed Ashmus around that often. But you never know. You never know. Okay, Ashmu has been destroyed. The ship will remain in space until the pilot logs back in. A very unpleasant sight to spot when you log back in. To see your ship just destroyed. Okay, let's take a look. You know, it's actually a very... You know, I prefer to keep the original look on the Ashmu. I don't like to change the Blood Raider now, the Blood Raider camouflage, because the Blood Raider camouflage is actually one of the best looking camouflages in the game. Alright, let's warp out and let's take a look at the kill. A capacitor battery, a capacitor battery and a missing medium slot on this ship. Well, it's not cursed. It's not cursed. It's just, you know, weird to say the least. Although a capacitor battery on a Blood Raider,
Warp drive active.
that's a little bit questionable, because the Blood Raiders already have the best capacitors in the game, and of course the bonus on Nosferatus. Now the next target, we have another ship that's logged out in space, if you believe it. Second ship in a row that's logged out in space. Not really sure why that's so popular, but it happens really often. And this is a Apocalypse Striker. Now this Apocalypse has a very interesting looking nanocore. I think this is the... what was it called? I actually forgot. Golden Age. Golden Age nanocore. I think that's the nanocore that we are looking at here. We will find out that very soon. The Apocalypse Striker is getting yeeted very quickly. And that's a big ship. I always forget how big the Apocalypse is. One of the largest battleships in the game. Just look how massive that thing is. It's 4 or 5 times the size of my little Stratios over here. Okay, they have been yeeted. Let's take a look at the ship again. Destroyed but still in space. I love this. I love this. 2.6 billion. Pretty solid value. Sniper fits and no nanocore. I guess this is a skin then. Not really sure which skin, but it's definitely not a nanocore. I thought it was an nanocore, but I guess I was wrong. It happens, sometimes I do get things wrong.
Warp drive active.
Sometimes I do get things wrong, yeah. It happens. And now, let's jump in the good old Vagabond, I mean good old Stabber too. And I have this build that is using the large neutralizer, waiting for the tackle, waiting for the warping. Okay, 15 kilometers. I will warp at 0. Yeah, I should warp at 0. Okay, the scout. Yeah, I should warp at 0. Should be the closest. Yeah, it is. Okay. Waiting for the Stratus to decloak. I have a little secondary window here that I'm looking at to know what's going on in the in the mission. And let's prepare. Let's warp. Okay, yeah, they have been tackled. Okay.
Warp drive active.
Okay, almost rushed a little bit there. Almost rushed. Orbit at 15-16 kilometers because I have enough range with the autocannons with this build. We have the Drake, red Drake, so extra salty, priority target as well. They seem to have a medium shield booster based on the amount of shield that they're boosting, which is, you know, okay, but not the best build on a Drake. If you remember in the previous Vagabond solo PvP video, I fought with a Drake for an entire 25 minutes, and that was a scarily good build. That was a terrifying build that they had, a really good build, and that was a really tanky Drake. This Drake, nah, not that tanky, obviously. They are going down really quickly. I also have the large neutralizer that is depleting the capacitor. If I had the large neutralizer on the 30-minute long fight with the Drake, with the previous Drake, then the fight would definitely not last 30 minutes because I would destroy the capacitor and they would be out of the capacitor, and of course, no capacitor, no tank. Okay, let's warp out. Let's take a look at the kill. 542 million, not bad, really nice drop. Yeah, medium shield booster and a capacitor battery. That capacitor battery is a little bit wasted because the large shield booster with a better build can actually withstand a lot more, and it can actually be capacitor stable with the large shield booster. I really should go and build the Drake to show you what I'm talking about. I haven't really been flying the Drake myself that often, although I probably should do that. Okay, let's go to the next target. We have a Ferox. This time I have the tank build. This Ferox is using dual webs and a long range disruptor. Now they have a pretty good, the Ferox has pretty good tracking, and I'm not going to be playing around with that at the moment, so I will orbit at 16 kilometers. I wish that I had the tracking computer. It looks like I'm changing the orbit to 8 kilometers because the Ferox shield is going down. The Ferox is a shield tank ship, so once it loses shield, it's basically a very dead ship. Orbiting at 6 kilometers. Stratos tanking really well. Okay, should be a very interesting target. And the Ferox has been destroyed. Nice. I will leave the loot for the Stratos. The Stratos has a larger capacitor, larger capacitor to store loot in the capacitor. The Stratos has a much larger cargo hold, so that they can fit a lot of stuff inside, I guess. Oh. That scared me for a second. That scared me really good for a second. 3 Macarials just chilling inside of this asteroid belt. Yeah, if this is not menacing nothing else, let me just warp away to another belt, just in case. If those Macarials are on a bad day, just in case, you know. That's scary. Let's not be around that. That's around 55,000 DPS. That's a big nope from me. Okay, let's take a look at the kill. 554 million. Really nice. Really nice kill. And well, decent build. Decent build. Definitely not a poorly fitted Ferox. That was a very solid build on the Ferox. Alright, so let's wait for the... actually, let's not wait, let's just yeet. We have a battlecruiser. They are a sniper and we are warping in. Now...
Warp drive active.
they did look like they were moving, so there's a chance that the battlecruiser has moved from the original position. So we will have to probably approach. We probably have to approach the target. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, honestly. Uh-oh. This is not good. 64 kilometers. Well, if they decide to shoot at me, I have the damage control and I have the sleep record. Okay, they are not warping away and they're not locking on. That's interesting. Interesting situation here. Well, I guess I approach from 64 kilometers. Neutralizer active, orbiting at 17 kilometers. Should have enough range. Tracking computer is active. We have a tackle frigate, so that the battlecruiser is definitely not going to go anywhere. I forgot to use the barrage implant during the duration of the tracking computer. I used the sleeper core to replenish my own capacitor while the neutralizer is running. Don't want to run out of capacitor while orbiting this ship. Well, they did not warp away for some reason. They had all the time in the world to warp away. Not really sure what was happening there with that battlecruiser, but they got caught from 65 kilometers. Not really sure how that happened, but it happened. One of those rare EVE moments where something like this happens. Oh man. I'm still thinking about the cursed builds on the start of the video. That was a lovely start. A piece of my soul did probably die in the start of this video, looking at those builds. Okay, I somehow got the kill. Did not expect that to happen, but it happened. Well, not bad. Some C-types, definitely not going to say no to some free C-type modules. And let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Okay, let's take a look at the kill. 338 million. Not bad. Passive shield tank. Okay. Medium neutralizer, warp core stabs. You know, well, classic sniper build. Not the best that I've seen, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. Not going to go and roast all builds. I mean, I only do that when the build is really bad, and you've seen some really bad builds today over here, and I try to be... Oof. Okay, next time we have an Oracle too. Now the Oracle is tackled. We have a tackle frigate on top of the Oracle. Active. Because, you know, the assault battlecruisers are nowadays 9+, 12+, 16+ stabbed, so you really have to have a lot of points to hold these things nowadays. A ship like this will not be able to hold a heavily stabbed battlecruiser. Okay, I can dual warp. This is a trick that works really well with snipers. And that Oracle has a...
Warp drive active.
Uh-oh. That Oracle has a large... I think group shield booster, perhaps something else. We will find out very soon. And usually, you know, back in the day, before they nerfed and changed the large group boosters, you can actually use, you could use large shield boosters, group large shield boosters and group large armor repairs in the medium slot of your battlecruiser. I actually did use that on some of my ships, and that's how I did the storyline missions 2.5 years ago. But since they have changed the requirements and since they have changed how they work, it's not really a good option nowadays. You have better builds with an active tank. But I guess that did not stop this oracle to use the old school build, and I would say that build falls in the category of being cursed, because back then it actually used to work. Now maybe if you're in a fleet of other snipers, then I can see it work, but for solo, no. Not for solo. And this ship is slowly going down. I'm very curious to know the build of that ship. And my friend is also pretty curious to know about the build of that ship on Discord. Okay, let's take a look at the kill, at the wreck, and after that at the kill. Well, perhaps it's not that bad. We will find out that soon enough. I don't like to jump to conclusions, but high chance
Warp
that it's
drive
actually
active.
cursed. Well, solid value, solid value. Okay, it's actually oof, how do you classify that build? Good or bad? Well, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. I don't know. I'm just going to be silent on that one, because I don't know. I think I would probably be wrong if I would to say if that's good or bad. So I'll leave that up to you. Decide if that build is good or bad. Now the next target we have a tornado. Now this tornado is at 0, and I did swap the build to be a tank, so that my friend can use the Orthrus and they can go and kite the tornado while I will brawl, and I have a tracking disruptor so that I reduce the accuracy and tracking of the tornado.
Warp drive active.
Okay, in warp. I should be able to tank a tornado without a problem. After all, this thing is really small, quick, and even if I'm webbed, I should be safe from the large autocannons from this ship. Okay, the ship doesn't want to orbit for some reason. Let's repeat the command. Tracking disruptor active. Well, they did shoot at the Orthrus, but they are not hitting the Orthrus. Haha, magic of the tracking disruptors. I will orbit at 1 kilometer. Barrage is active. They are still shooting at... Oh, they are now shooting at me. Okay. Afterburner back on, so that I can speed tank the large autocannons. They have one web and dual Nosferatus. That should not be a big problem, honestly. Let's orbit at 7 kilometers. I will take some damage, but I'm tanky, so I'm not really worried about the damage that I'll take from this tornado. See, that was a small hit on my shield, because I was moving at a 90-degree angle from the ship, so they would probably hit. And the tornado has been destroyed. Nice. One shield booster cycle was enough to repair the damage. Let's take a look at kill. 231 million. Not bad. Medium mic warp drive. You know, if this tornado was using a afterburner, it would probably be a more dangerous target. But if they were using an afterburner, it would probably be a easier target. But they were using a micro warp drive. Whew, well then. That was a very interesting cruiser video for today. Oh man, so many cursed ships. It hurts to watch. It hurts to look at the builds. It really hurts to look at the builds, but you know, someone has to do it. So with that being said, hope that you had fun. Hope you enjoyed. And well, with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.